Welcome. Welcome to the Stockton Virtual College Fair this evening. We have a wonderful list of institutions that you get to hear from tonight. I just have a few housekeeping items before we get started this evening. So thanks for joining us. First of all, you'll want to make sure that you put any questions that you have in the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen. It's most helpful if you address the college that your question is going to. So put the college name and then your question. That way they know who you're directing your question to. This is a webinar, so your camera and your microphone are off, so our panelists can't see or hear you. That's why it's important that you put those questions in the Q&A area. And this is just one of the many sessions happening, so we hope that you're able to sign up for additional sessions. This is being recorded and it will be available on demand for you to rewatch within about a week at that same website where you registered. So without further ado, I am going to turn it over to our presenters. Tonight, first, you have the pleasure of hearing from Columbia College, Chicago.
Thank you, Courtney, and thanks once again to you and StriveScan and WACAC for helping us out and putting us on the virtual stage here. Good evening, good day to you all, wherever you are. My name is Marty with Columbia College, Chicago. You are welcome at any point in my presentation to screenshot or take pictures of this information. You'll see a couple of these codes. You can hold up your mobile device to that and it'll take you to a contact form where you can get in touch with me, certainly if you have any questions directly to me or for me or about Columbia College Chicago. As I mentioned, my name is Marty. I'm currently serving as the Assistant Director of Regional Admissions for the West Coast in the United States. My pronouns he and him. You see my email and phone number there. And we're going to talk about the arts. So Columbia is a school located in downtown Chicago. Chicago, you may know, is the third largest city in the United States. And it's definitely a part of who we are. It's why our name is inclusive of Columbia College Chicago. I definitely feel like students intentionally choose Columbia for the location in addition to the majors that we offer. And so I want to shy away from saying Columbia is an art school because I think our approach is much more nuanced than that. But on the surface, we definitely do look like an art school. Students who come to Columbia, they will engage with the city of Chicago. So we're talking about performing off campus, gallerying off campus, interning off campus, and really, ingraining yourself in the culture of Chicago and its creative communities. It goes without saying that art doesn't happen in a vacuum, so we really stress collaborating across our programs. We want hands-on learning experiences. Of course, students can start in their programs right away, or even take a full year to kind of figure out which major or majors are going to serve them best. And ultimately, the end goal is to have networking opportunities, career preparation, and working. So we've got around 7,000 students in total at Columbia. Students coming from all 50 states and over 60 countries, which is awesome. When we talk about collaboration with difference, that's really what we mean, is that every voice, every perspective, every ability, every ambition, that's going to be represented and welcomed and celebrated at Columbia. The majors at Columbia really encompass these 6 buckets: media and digital arts, visual arts, performing arts, music and sound, communication and writing, and then the business and management programs that will support the aforementioned. This next slide is a much more comprehensive list of our majors, and you'll see some of these have BA and BFA degree distinctions, and that means that we offer kind of 2 different degree types or 2 paths for those programs. What I always like to acknowledge with this list of majors, although it's not all of them, gives you a good understanding, you'll see that really we are in some ways a self-contained creative community. We can support each other with our work and really rely on other students to support our work as creatives. So here again is really where we're stressing collaborating, interdisciplinary work, cross-disciplinary work, and of course, all the social things that come with being a college student. One quick note on the majors and the minors is that we do offer double majoring, and you can have a minor or 2, but that's really not a part of our application process. But please know that we do absolutely welcome students to have 2 majors or minors as part of their Columbia experience. We got to get to the fun stuff, and that's applying to Columbia. So very quickly, you can apply to Columbia via the Common application or our app. Either one's totally cool, and there's no preferential treatment either way. We absolutely try to be as holistic as humanly possible, and our application review process is human. every application is looked at by a set of human eyes. It's a rolling admissions process. We've always been test optional. We are especially test optional this year. And auditions and portfolios will vary depending on whatever program you're applying to. Once again, if you have any questions about this, just give me a shout and I'll be here to help you. Good news is that all students who are admitted to Columbia are considered for scholarships, and students who submit an audition or a portfolio, they'll be considered for extra talent scholarships. And you see the FAFSA noted on here. If you're able to submit a FAFSA, you'll be eligible for need-based scholarships, federal financial aid that's available to you as well. One quick note, if you're unable to file the FAFSA for whatever reason, let's have an offline conversation about that. And we have other financial aid opportunities for students who might not be able to submit a FAFSA. You can learn more about Columbia and certainly the application at colum.edu/apply. And once again, feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Here again is my contact information. You'll also see a link to join us in the Zoom sphere with virtual campus tours and virtual open house events and all of the virtual things your heart will desire. So my friends, I want to wish you a healthy and a safe and inspired rest of your fall semester and certainly the school year ahead. And I also hope that you'll take lots of deep breaths and remember to be good to yourself and each other as you move forward throughout the school year. So stay well. I hope we'll connect soon. And with that, I am going to hand it over to our lovely host.
Thank you so much, Marty and Columbia College, Chicago. Don't forget, you can put all those great questions in the Q&A, but next up, you get the opportunity to hear from St. John's University.
Good afternoon. Let me just share my screen really quickly, and then I'll keep it going. All right, come on, PowerPoint. There we go. All right. So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Anthony. I'm the admissions counselor for the West Coast. I'm an alum of St. John's, actually double alum, so I have a lot of information about St. John's outside of just admissions. So if you ever have questions or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me. But I start every presentation by showing this slide and saying that we do have a green campus. We're a New York City school, but as you can see here, it's not all concrete and buildings. So the one thing I like about St. John's is that we do have a full gated campus, 100-acre campus in the middle of New York City. So we do have multiple locations, Queens being our largest, about 15,000 students strong. We have a small location in the borough of Staten Island with about 2,000 students. So depending on, if you want a smaller school or a medium-sized school, you got that choice between those two campuses. The Manhattan campus is very specialized. So if you're interested in actuary science, risk management, you can study there. The exception is that if you are a business student, you can study in all three campuses if you would like. So you can choose Queens, Staten Island, or Manhattan. However, only business can have the option of all three. The campuses that you see in blue are the campuses that we have overseas. So we have a Rome campus, a Paris campus, and a campus in Limerick, Ireland as well. Whoops, going too fast there. All right, so some of our key numbers, we have 17,000 students, just roughly over that number, with a 17-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So what does that mean? We're a medium-sized university, but you have smaller class sizes. So probably comparable to most of your high schools, about 20 students, give or take. Major courses, depending on your major, anywhere from 10 to 20. I've had classes with 10 students, so it really depends on your major. We have 47 different states, 123 different countries represented, over 180 different clubs and organizations on campus, and we're also a Division I sports school with 17 Division I sports teams. We have over 100 different majors. This is just a breakdown of the different colleges within our university. So we have a pharmacy and health science school, professional studies school, liberal arts and sciences, school of education, and our business school. So for our honors program, if you have an interest in being an honors college, we don't have a separate application. So when you apply, you will automatically consider it for our honors program, depending on the criteria for that incoming year. Double majors and minors, multiple dual degree options, similar to the previous school that you just heard from. You can apply for that like coming in, but if you do have questions, I can definitely help out with that. We do strongly encourage it, but you have to apply to that after you have matriculated as a student. So living on campus, we have suite style living for the most part, 4 rooms in a suite, 2 rooms on each side of the suite, ranging from single, double, triple, or quad, 2 bathrooms in each end of the suite, which I think is amazing because we all have one person that we live with that probably uses the bathroom way too long. So you don't have to fight over the bathroom. So it's definitely a good environment. And actually our first dorm was built in 1999, so they're fairly new. So as I mentioned before, we are Division I in athletics. This is just a list of our teams. We don't have football, so I'm sorry for that, but we do have a basketball team that plays in Madison Square Garden, so I think that makes up a little bit for it. And we play in the Big East Conference. If you are interested in playing a sport, not a D1 level, but like club or intramural sports, these are the ones that we have available as well. Studying abroad. So 44% of our 17,000 students travel abroad, which means a lot of students at St. John's take advantage of it. We have a passport program, which is a freshman program. So you can go away to Rome and Paris for 7 days of your first semester or second semester. Western Europe semester is our most popular program. So you go to each of the countries listed, Rome, Paris, and Ireland, in Limerick, Ireland, all in one semester. You take 2 courses in each country for 5 weeks each. And then we also have Costa Rica and Colombia as mainstays as well. But if you want to go anywhere else, we could definitely send you there. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out. Internship opportunities. So we have a 94% employment rate. A lot of that has to do, I think, with our internship opportunities. Being in New York definitely helps out. There's a lot of major corporations, companies, agencies, you name it. So this little short list here, you see sports ranging from the Islanders to MLB to media with Disney, MTV, NBC, to healthcare with Northwell Health, to tech with Facebook, to criminal justice with the FBI. So there's many different areas you can get internship opportunities at with St. John's. And most of our majors actually require it. So application requirements. We are test optional, typically speaking. So this year we are test optional again for sure. The exception for this year is that every single major is test optional. We had about 5 that weren't before, but we just added those 5 to being test optional. But if you are submitting test scores, our average is a 1200 SAT, average ACT 25, and we super score both tests. Average GPA is a 3.5 weighted, and these are just the recommended application documents. If you're going test optional, I kind of want to politely say they are absolutely required because it helps you out. So 2 letters of rec, personal essay, and a resume. Definitely send in all 3 of those because it will make your application stronger. And then here's just some of our deadlines. We have early decision November 15th, early action December 1st, and after that we have rolling admissions. The only exception is that pharmacy and biooptometry have a due date of February 1st. If you're not applying for those 2 programs, then we just roll. In terms of merit scholarships, our scholarships range from $5,000 to $30,000 per year. No application required for merit, as you can see there. If you see a date, that means it's an application that you have to apply for. So Catholic school, if you go to a Catholic high school, that's automatic. The others that have the deadline, you have to fill out a separate application. So something important to note. Our tuition, $43,000 for Queens, $30,000 for Staten Island. Although our packages for scholarships definitely eat up that difference, so don't worry too much about that. We have an open house coming up next month. Those dates are outdated. And then lastly, here's just my contact information and also another way to visit St. John's. So stjohns.edu/visit, plenty of virtual information, plenty of ways to chat with me, other counselors, and definitely reach out to me. But enjoy the rest of this fair. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'm going to pass it over.
Thank you so much, Anthony and St. John's University. Next up, you'll get to hear from Kalamazoo College. You're on mute, Andrew.
Oh, is that better? Okay, fantastic. Well, I was trying to say good evening, everyone, but I realized it's not necessarily evening for everyone. Let me share my presentation real quick here. There we go. Okay, fantastic. So I am going to talk to you guys for a couple of minutes here about Kalamazoo College. So my name is Andrew Grayson. I'm the Senior Associate Director of Admission at Kalamazoo. I'm also a proud class of 2010 alum. Probably the first thing that students from the West Coast are curious about is where exactly is this place? Unless you're familiar with us, might not necessarily be a territory that you know. So let's start with that. We are sort of smack dab in the middle between Chicago and Detroit in the state of Michigan, in the city of Kalamazoo, which is a metro population of almost 300,000 people, and our local college population is about 30,000. So we're a relatively small college town, but certainly not teeny tiny either. We're somewhere in between a small town and a very, very big small town and a very, very small big city. There's a commercial airport, international airport, within about 15 minutes of our campus, and we are well served by our local regional transit to Chicago and Detroit and a couple of other places. Part of the reason I like talking about the city of Kalamazoo and where we are is that a lot of small independent liberal arts colleges like us are located in the middle of a cornfield or in the woods somewhere or in a very, very small town, which can be awesome. But if that's not what you're looking for, we are actually in a more urban context. So that picture down there at the bottom is the skyline of our little town. And we're about a 10-minute walk, 15-minute walk from that spot, about a 15-minute walk to the center of town. And that affords our students a lot of opportunities to get engaged and do some stuff in the local community. Here, I'm going to give you some quick facts about the college. I'm not going to read all of these, but I'm basically just going to tell you a little bit about what it means to be in a small independent liberal arts college. So, you're not competing with thousands of other students necessarily. You're going to know a lot more people, get to know your professors, be in smaller classes. Part of the way that we try to structure things is to make sure that you have a lot of access to things that you want to do to make your life in college more interesting, more fruitful, more productive. You may have noticed on our front page there that our college motto is more in 4, more in a lifetime. We want to make sure that you're able to accomplish plenty in the time that you're with us so that you can go off and do amazing things when you leave. We're also a member of the Colleges That Change Lives. I'll just point that out. If it's not a resource you're familiar with, I would definitely recommend checking it out. Great way to frame your college search. And then just briefly, I want to talk about our K-plan. This is a educational model that we've come up with that allows the student to have a ton of flexibility while making sure that they're going to hit certain important milestones along the way. So everyone has an advisor and builds their own curriculum. We don't have any general education requirements. Students get to figure out on their own what it is they're interested in studying with the help of faculty. Most of our students are going to engage in some sort of resume building activity while they're with us. And there's a lot of opportunities to dig in and get your hands dirty. Also, every student who wants to may study abroad through this program. About 80% of our students do. Study abroad is awesome. We have 60 programs around the world on all 6 continents except for Antarctica. So lots of opportunities to get out there. And most of our students are going to go for about 6 to 9 months of their junior year. So if you're interested in an intensive study abroad program, Kalamazoo could be a good fit. And then everybody finishes their time by doing a capstone project of their own design. Really briefly, I want to talk about how admissions and scholarships work. So you'll see some pieces of this are going to apply towards your scholarship and some are not. So grades, the challenge of the curriculum, and your common application essay, we will consider for admission and your merit award. And then we'll also look at your activities, recommendations, and then anything else you're interested in telling us that will count towards deciding whether or not to admit you. And of course, we are also test optional. I will just leave you with a couple of quick thoughts. I hope that you'll take the time to get to know the colleges that you're meeting during these programs. We've all got some awesome virtual opportunities, including at Kalamazoo, the opportunity to do a one-on-one virtual walkthrough of our campus with one of our current students. And you can also send me an email if you'd like to connect and talk about applying to the college. I am your admission counselor. I'm sad that I can't be out there meeting with you in person this year, but I'm excited to talk to you individually, and I hope that we see your applications come through. If anybody has any questions for faculty or for alumni, we also have plenty of opportunities for you to do that as well. And with that, I will finish my time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrew and Kalamazoo College. I know that I've already learned so many great things about the institutions that have gone already, but we still have 3 more great institutions to go. So don't forget to put those questions in the chat. And next up, you're going to hear from Florida Southern College.
All right, so that's me. Hi, everyone. My name is Shannon Barnes. I'm one of the admissions counselors at Florida Southern. I work with the entire western half of the U.S., and I'm super excited to get to talk to you a little bit about what life in Florida is like and what Florida Southern can do for you. So just a little bit about the college itself. Despite the name, we are not actually in South Florida. Florida Southern is located right smack dab in the middle of the state in a town called Lakeland, which is about 110,000 people. And We're about an hour away from Tampa and about an hour away from Orlando. So you're right in between two big cities, you're right in between two big airports in a nice cozy town that's just big enough to support a couple Fortune 500 companies, but also still feels small and cozy and like a quintessential college town. Florida Southern is about 3,000 students. Of that, about 2,500 are involved in our undergraduate programs. So we are a primarily undergraduate institution. Those are spread across 5 different kind of schools within the college. So some of our particular claims to fame or big programs would be biology, marine biology, life sciences, a direct entry non-impacted nursing program. We see a lot of students come through for exercise science and physical therapy, education, business, and then the School of Arts and Sciences, which includes everything from a BFA in musical theater to film. So lots of different options available for you. But kind of regardless of what you're doing at Florida Southern for your academic goals and your major, we want to make sure that you're getting the chance to be really hands-on with what you do. We've won a lot of awards for our hands-on and kind of engaged learning outlook. And so what that looks like is going to be different depending on what your major is, but we really emphasize the chance to do research, the chance to be hands-on with technology like our Bloomberg terminals. If you're looking at something like the honors program, we want you to be able to take all of those experiences and use your own drive and your own goals to really develop your academic experiences throughout your 4 years at FSC. So one of the things that we also like to talk about is how that's supported by what we call the 3 guarantees. These are kind of what we consider the backbone of the Florida Southern education. So the first big one is that we guarantee a chance for every single person to study abroad. So no matter what your major is, no matter what you want out of that experience, that's actually wrapped into your tuition for a lot of students. So a lot of students are able to do that at no additional cost. The next big one is internships. We guarantee that every single student who wants to do one will be able to do an internship. For a lot of majors, it's required. So you'll definitely graduate with a lot of experience to be able to put that on your resume and take that into your future job hunt or like graduate school applications, whatever your future goals are. And then on the topic of future goals, one of the other big things that we really emphasize is making sure that you're coming into Florida Southern. We want you to love FSC and spend a great 4 years here. But then we want you to leave and feel like you've gotten out of here on time. So we really work hard to make sure that you're getting strong advising and getting out of Florida Southern in a 4-year on-time graduation. So after students graduate, typically about 1/3 of students will continue on to some form of graduate school and about 2/3 will continue on into the workforce. We are a residential college. We guarantee housing for all 4 years. So that's kind of the unofficial 4th guarantee that's on there. We're a super beautiful campus. We've been named the most beautiful campus in the country a couple times in a row. So you can see down in the bottom left corner, we're right across the street from Lake Hollingsworth, and you can grab a kayak or a paddleboard or a hammock with your student ID for free to kind of enjoy the Florida sunshine. Generally speaking, students will move into the apartments that the college owns after junior and senior year. So these rooms are a little bit more typical of like 1st and 2nd year experiences. If you are an athlete, we are a Division II school, so we've got a bunch of different options available for you there. If you are interested in a couple more specialized sports like water skiing or esports, we also have those available through club teams, and then also have a historically very strong intramural program as well. So if you want to continue playing sports but don't necessarily want to compete at the collegiate level, there's a good way to get involved with that. But if sports aren't your jam, there's plenty of other ways to get involved. We have everything.
Did you find it? Yay.
A couple of different Greek organizations on campus, to community service, to different clubs and organizations. So plenty of different things to do. Application-wise, we are a test optional school, and I want to highlight a couple of things about the application process. You're more than welcome to apply through the common application or the coalition application. We don't have any supplements that we require. And if your letter of recommendation is going to be hard for you to get a hold of, come talk to me. We're able to waive those this year if you're not able to talk with a teacher or school counselor. Florida Southern typically admits about half the students who apply, and you can kind of see the middle 50% there, but we are a holistic review process. I'll touch briefly on financial aid. You are automatically evaluated for merit scholarships. You do not need to submit test scores to be evaluated for those either. Test optional means test optional for merit scholarships, application, the honors program, pretty much everything. There are a couple of scholarship programs that require a separate application with specific deadlines, but if you have questions about those, you're more than welcome to get a hold of me and I can help walk you through them. We're open for both in-person and virtual visits. So if you want to take a look at some of the different virtual tours or like videos that are available, the Experience FSC page is a good place to start. But you're also more than welcome to send me a message and I can help connect you. I'll leave you with my contact information and bounce it back over to Courtney.
Thank you so much, Shannon and Florida Southern College. Next up, you get to hear from Maryville University.
Okay, I think we're good. You see my screen? Let's take a quick trip to St. Louis, Missouri. All right, my name is Dennis Jones. I am the West Coast Regional Director of Admission for Maryville University. I am based in Oakland, California. So again, regionally based, not far from you guys. Maryville is an independent private university located about 20 minutes west of St. Louis, Missouri. Where not everybody looks like me with a cowboy hat, super diverse, very metropolitan city. St. Louis actually has more free attractions than any city in the country other than Washington, D.C., so there's a lot to do. Over 10,000 total students, but 2,900-ish traditional undergraduate students. We're actually the second fastest growing private school in the country right now. A lot of that is online growth, but we grew about 7% on the traditional side this fall as well. Students from all 50 states, 58 countries within that average class size of about 15. So just a good mix of students and backgrounds. I love this slide because that's Marie. She's from just outside of Honolulu, Hawaii. She's a big surfer and we're a little ocean challenged. So she figured out that snowboarding is pretty fun too. So this is on campus behind our newest residence hall. 150 clubs and organizations, pretty much something for everybody. We encourage students to start them. We also have some club sports that we scholarship: men's and women's ice hockey, men's and women's rugby, men's volleyball, ice hockey, and rugby will be playing Division I sports in 2022. And we're big in the esports world, 60-ish gamers on scholarship. We built a brand new esports facility last summer, and we won our 4th national title in League of Legends in the last 5 years, just a couple weeks ago. 90 plus academic programs, again, something for everybody. Direct entry programs in nursing, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech language therapy, lots of health sciences. We were 84% straight to med school this fall, almost double the national average. That's 23 applicants, 18 admits. We're one of very few schools our size to have a cadaver lab on campus. Our health science building is about 3 years old. But we also have lots of STEM programs, brand new in-house computer science program. You can see the tracks there. Our sports business program is the only one in the country that's corporate partnered. Things like criminology, criminal justice, data science, forensic science, art and design majors, game design is huge. So lots of academic programs. Just a small snapshot of our partnerships. Our students are very all over the city, really doing observation hours, taking advantage of internships. I already mentioned Rawlings, we're a direct partner with Apple. So lots of opportunity there as well. NCAA Division II, 22 Division II sports, pretty much everything but football. Quick list there. 2 years, just within the last 2 years, brand new facilities for baseball. Ice hockey, we built a $21 million facility, partnered with the city of Chesterfield just this past summer. But baseball, softball, soccer, lacrosse have separate facilities, tennis. So campus is just really, really modern in general. And I already mentioned the health science building being just a few years old. You can hear my big 100-pound Conocorso behind me drinking water. He's a puppy, he's only 7 months old, so don't mind that background noise. We are one of 9 Apple distinguished schools in the entire country out of 4,000 plus colleges and universities. Only 9 are recognized for their innovation and use of technology in and out of the classroom. All of our traditional students get the iPad Generation 7 with the pencil. Students know better than I do. You can drag in video, content, all that good stuff. Both of my daughters are students on campus. I have a junior and a freshman from Oakland, so from California. And we didn't buy either of them a notebook, a piece of paper, a pencil. It's all cloud-based. They can do everything on the phone, their iPad, their laptop, which again, students you are used to. Life coaches for all of our students, they are not your parents. You're connected to them before you even get to campus. They're going to help you with the transition. They're going to serve as your academic advisor the first couple of years. Make sure that you're in the appropriate academic program for what you think your end goal is, help with internships, that sort of things. My daughters love their life coaches. 97% career success rates. I always say parents appreciate that, students appreciate it later, but that just means that our students are going to be employed in med school, law school, grad school, join the Peace Corps, something within about 7 months of graduation. Normally it'll be quicker than that. And things like nursing, PT, OT, cybersecurity, engineering, it's 100% employed within about a month of graduation. And you can see where we stack up against the rest of the country, about 16% higher on average. How about the cost? That red line going down is Maryville University. That blue line going up is the rest of the country on average. We, about a month before school started this fall, our president announced a 5% cut in tuition. So in the middle of a pandemic, we cut it by 5%, and we're going to drop it another 15% over the next 3 years. So a total of 20%. So we are truly becoming accessible and affordable for everybody. That is our goal. We're not there yet, but we're moving in that direction. Lots of scholarships. These are just our merits-based scholarships. They are automatic GPA or test score. We have been test optional for 5 years and will remain that way. But we have a slew of scholarships and too many to list in 6 minutes. We do also give an extra $5,000 for California students. And that is stackable and renewable. If you get the 14 merit and the 5, that's more than half your total cost for the year before any other aid. Free to apply, test optional, free with the Coalition app, Common App, or our application. I'm going to skip ahead to my contact information because I'm running out of time. And one last thing, I'm pretty sure we're the only school in the country where all your cost is built in. So your cost is actually your cost. It's everything. Books, iPad, room, food, laundry, parking, Wi-Fi, tutors, printing. I will get out of here. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Dennis, thank you so much to you and Maryville University. 6 minutes does go by really fast, doesn't it?
It does.
Your final presentation tonight will be from Bard College.
Hello, everybody. My name is Coleridge Greathouse. I am the Assistant Director of Admission and West Coast Coordinator for Bard. Bard College is a private college for the public good. And so what that means for us is that we have a national and international network of campuses and programs that support our work in environmental and social justice, as well as access to education. And we do this work on a local, national, and global level. And beyond educating our students, we're preparing and providing opportunities for students to engage in that same work. In fact, as an example of that, we were the first college in the country to offer a major in human rights. So there are 2 examples that I typically like to share. One of those you can see right here on our campus map, that bird's eye view of campus, and they are seemingly unrelated. So the first is we have 2 farms and an orchard on our campus supplying more than 20,000 pounds of produce annually to our dining hall and community farm stand, as well as donations to local food banks and shelters. And then the second example I like to share as a part of the Bard network is we have the largest degree granting prison education program in the country called the Bard Prison Initiative. Now, what do these 2 examples have in common? They were both programs started by Bard students while they were students. These weren't alumni who went on and went to graduate school and started their professional careers and created these programs. These were students who had a drive to make a change and then turned to the institution and said, help me build this. And the college responded overwhelmingly in the affirmative. So those are just 2 of the myriad examples of ways that you can make an impact on the world while still pursuing your education in a small, close-knit liberal arts environment. We have about 1,900 undergraduate students on a 1,000-acre campus in the scenic, historic Hudson Valley. We have fields of study in 4 different divisions, as you can see here. With a 10-to-1 student faculty ratio and an average class size of 14, you're definitely going to get that really close connection with your professors. And our classes are all taught by full-time faculty. We don't have graduate assistants or TAs teaching our classes. And our faculty teach based on their passions and interests and their current active work. So they're not, folks retired from their field who are then lecturing to you about whatever they spent their career on. Our faculty are actively working and creating and researching right now. So something that I'll highlight for you in our fields of study is that the longest list of any field on this page is under the interdivisional programs here. And that is because of the sheer number of students who do joint majors, double majors, multidisciplinary studies, and many of those programs stick. And so as with any program in the liberal arts, you're going to have that interdisciplinary approach. So I just wanted you to have a sense of the fields of study. Facts and figures for folks who are interested in those. About a fifth of our student body comes from outside the United States, and another fifth comes from the West Coast. California is actually our second highest represented state on campus after New York. So you would most definitely not be alone if you choose to make the trek across the country and join us on campus at Bard. While we are a predominantly white institution and are always working to acknowledge that identity, we have 40% of our student body identify as students of color, and 18%, as you can see here, are first generation college students, 25% Pell eligible, and 75% of our student body receives financial aid. All of the financial aid at Bard is need-based. The intent there is to be equitable and distribute funds as they are needed by students. Talked about the average class size. We have Division III athletics, if you're interested in that. We have just as many clubs and organizations on campus as we do faculty. So lots of opportunities to get involved and connected on campus. We are primarily residential. We require on-campus housing for the first 2 years. And then once you declare your major, you then have the option to go off campus. That happens around the end of sophomore year for most students. And last but not least, about half of our students have an international experience ranging from language intensive trip, a couple weeks in a winter or summer term, or a full semester abroad, or even a full year abroad. And in fact, we offer a unique opportunity for first year students to study abroad in our Begin in Berlin program. Bard College Berlin is one of our many international partnerships in the Bard network. And so first year students can actually do their first year curriculum abroad and then come back and finish their degree in New York. We also offer a global bachelor's program. So you can hop semester to semester to different institutions around the Bard network and never be in the same place twice if you want to. We're on the Common App. It's very easy to apply. I will highlight that while our early round interviews are full, we do still have space in our immediate decision plan, which is an immersive admission experience. So you get a seminar with faculty, including pre-assigned reading, so you actually have something to discuss in the class, and then an interview with an admission counselor and a virtual campus tour, all from the comfort of your couch this year. Because of COVID, we're doing everything virtually. And the best part for you is not only do you get this immersive experience, but you find out your decision the next business day. So you know exactly where you stand. You have that decision in your pocket as you continue your college search. So I will be, maybe I'll share my contact information. I realize I don't have it on a slide here, but you can always email admission@bard.edu. And yeah, I look forward to connecting with you soon.
Thank you so much. I'd now like to invite all of our panelists to turn on their cameras and invite you panelists to either share a fun fact about your institution or maybe a campus tradition, expand a little further on the community where your institution's located, maybe a fun restaurant that you encourage prospective families and students to hit up when they are in your area, or just anything else that you'd like to share. And I guess we'll start with Marty.
You brought up food, so I'd be remiss not to acknowledge deep dish pizza and that delicacy that exists in Chicago. But on a more serious matter, one campus tradition that we have is a bit like a homecoming, although it's a bit displaced in that it's an art festival that happens at the end of our school year. And our students take charge and really activate our campus and make it an urban arts street festival. Really meant to showcase the graduating, work of our seniors, but engages all of the students, and it's completely student run and produced. I will say, as humbling as these times seem to be, even more humbling was to see our students really adapt quickly to make this a virtual experience last year. And it's up on our website. If you search Columbia College Chicago and look up Manifest, you'll see all the great work that our students produced last year. So Manifest is what it's all about. Homecoming at the end of the school year and all about art and deep dish pizza.
I love both of those. That is so fun. Next up, St. John's University, Anthony.
All right. So we at St. John's every year, we center a pretty fun weekend around the Midnight Madness time period. So when the basketball season is kicking up, we have performers going on campus. The basketball team shows off their skills. It's a nice little fun environment. The whole day, everybody's excited. There's events going on, free giveaways. Then the next day, we also have our service day. So our students, academic student service day. But also people like me and administrators and staff take advantage of that as well. I think last year about 2,000 or 3,000 people took advantage. And we also typically in a normal year have open house in person around that same weekend. So what we do is we turn the where the basketball events were into where we have a welcome. So we have the stage area there, and then you have all the students on campus still like excited. And it's just a fun environment to have our students kind of interacting, doing many different things. And then also having prospective students come in the same weekend to see everything. So that's, I would say, my favorite time at St. John's.
I love it. Like school spirit and giving back. Perfect. Next up, Andrew from Kalamazoo.
Yeah, I mean, food is a good question. One of the things I love about being in a city like Kalamazoo is that it's not very large, but we have over 100 independently owned restaurants and bars and coffee shops. And so there's a lot of great places. Some of them are struggling a little bit right now, but we're very much hoping that they're going to make it through, because it really is an important aspect of being in a place like this. I will say my personal favorite to recommend for folks is our local donut shop. It's called Sweetwater's Donuts, and if you're going to be in Kalamazoo, you have to pick some up. And while you are eating your Sweetwater's Donuts, you should stop by our Arcus Center for Social Justice Leadership. One of the coolest things about our campus, as far as we know, it's the only building in the country that was purposely designed to encourage people to think about social justice, and they do that in some really cool ways. It also comes along with about a $35 million endowment to help students fund things like their own research and sending them to conferences and conventions and putting them all on a bus and sending them to the March on Washington. So if you're interested in digging into that question of how do we use the privilege of working in and studying in these institutions of higher learning to make the world a better place, Kalamazoo has some pretty cool programs for that.
What a great opportunity for your students and your community. Shannon of Florida Southern College.
Yeah, so one of Florida Southern's other big claims to fame is some of the stuff that you actually see behind me in the virtual background. We're the largest single site collection of Frank Lloyd Wright architecture in the world. So one of the great American architects really came through and redesigned our campus. And the centerpiece of campus is this super cool, massive fountain called the Water Dome. And when the jets are on, it's as tall as the library. So as a senior, you actually get to go in and have a pool party in there before you graduate. So I think it's pretty cool to be able to say you're topping off your college experience with a pool party in a National Historic Landmark.
That sounds super fun. And Dennis from Maryville.
Yeah, I think our University Week of Welcome, when students move in and get there, I just think both of my kids, it was different for both of them. Obviously having a freshman this year was a little bit different, but there's events going on all week. There's concerts on campus bands. It really helps them avoid homesickness. They get to know people. In the first couple of days, it's just all the incoming students, and then over the weekend, it's the returning students. It's just super well set up and pretty awesome. And then about a month into school, the Maryville reaches out. We send students, a couple thousand students all over St. Louis to build houses for Habitat for Humanity, work in community gardens, just all kinds of pretty cool stuff. And so we're very visible around the city. And then if you know St. Louis, Ted Drew's frozen custard. I had no idea frozen custard's a thing. It can be like a McFlurry on steroids. So it's pretty legit.
Ted Drew's is totally legit. And finally, Colrick from Bard.
I think my favorite campus tradition happens every year at the end of the academic year, a week or two before commencement, and that is the Surrealist Circus. So our circus group practices all year for this: aerial silks, choreography, costuming, fire breathing, light show. I mean, they really go all out like a mini Cirque du Soleil, including the largest unsanctioned fireworks display in the Hudson Valley. And one of the traditions is one of our deans who runs the Trustee Leader Scholar Office, Paul Marienthal is his name. He does the final monologue from Die Hard and then sets off the fireworks display. And then as soon as it's done, everybody scatters back to their residence halls before the fire department and arrives. So it's our sort of little act of rebellion every year, with a ton of beautiful, beautiful student artwork and performance art. So yeah, the Surrealist Circus is definitely my favorite Bard tradition.
That sounds incredibly cool. Audience, I would also just give you a piece of advice. All of these professionals on the screen are here to help you throughout this process. You might have known that you had your family, maybe siblings or cousins to help you, maybe friends, but you likely didn't realize that you had all of these people to help you through this process. So your phone makes phone calls, not just texts. Get the information from these folks versus college confidential or from somebody's sister's brother's cousin. These people really do want to take your phone calls and your questions, and I know that they wish you the best throughout this college search process. So with that, thank you so much for joining us tonight. As you close out, there's a quick 4-question survey. We hope that you'll provide us some feedback. Again, there's more sessions, so please sign up for additional ones. And this recording will be available within a week at that same website where you registered. Have a great evening, everyone. Goodbye.